Welcome to the Toni Love Show with your host, Toni Love.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining the Toni Love Show. My guest today is celebrity barber Curtis Smith of New York. Curtis is taking time out of his schedule to share some information with us today. And Curtis, I just want to thank you so much for being my guest today.
Oh, you're very welcome. I'm glad to be here.
Well, first of all, tell us the name of your barbershop and where you're located.
Okay, well, I actually don't work in a barbershop, Tony. I work with my clients directly.
Okay.
So I travel to the client and work with them at their place or wherever we're to do whatever we're doing.
Okay, but you did have a barbershop of your own or worked in one before, right?
Oh, yeah, of course. I mean,
yeah,
I have my own. My shop is called Evanesce.
Mm-hmm.
That's Eboneese. We had that in the Bronx. Me and one of my childhood best friends, DJ K. Capri.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we had that shop together for about 10 years. We also had 2 other locations after that, well, at the same time. You know, after we did that, and we stopped that venture, then we started another one called In the Cut, which was in the Bronx. And, you know, after that, I pretty much left the shop alone because I was too busy traveling.
Right, because and the reason I remember that, because I remember seeing it on MTV. That's how I remember your your barbershop was featured in a show on MTV at one time. Now, How did you become a celebrity barber? How does one do that? The guy listening to this interview today that's standing behind that chair that wants a celebrity clientele, how does that happen?
Well, there's no how does that happen. There's really no cookie cutter way that you can do something like that. I mean, like, I know people who do work in this field that, you know, they all came from different directions. You know, some people came in as, you know, they were cutting the guy before they became famous. Or, you know, some people came in as they were a referral, which is usually the case. You know, usually the best way, I mean, because there's no school or, you know, there's no place to go to work where that's just going to happen. Unless maybe you're like in like Hollywood or Beverly Hills or something like that, where, you know, or in certain parts of Miami and New York where, you know, that's where the celebrities go. But even in that case, most celebrities, they don't go to barbershops to get their hair done anyway. You know, there's very few celebrities that actually have the time to do that.
Right.
You know, maybe some, you know, most of them, and even if they do have the time, I mean, if you think about it, somebody will pay $100 or something like that for a haircut just so they don't have to go sit in the barbershop and wait because they can afford to. You know, I mean, it's not just celebrities. I mean, you know, my clientele ranges, you know, all around the board. You know, I mean, it's like, you know, regular people too that, you know, that are to pay $100 or so for you to come and give them a visit, you know, custom, you know. So, I mean, it's not really about, you know, just having celebrities as a to be able to actually do what you do, but it's just about getting the right clientele. And I think the celebrity part, you know, may or may not happen on its own.
Right.
But, I think that, you know, to just go chasing that dream is kind of unrealistic, you know, because, you know, I don't know a lot of barbers who are making a living at it personally. And, you know, it's one of those kind of situations where, you know, today you might be, you know, Spikey D's barber who just grew up and became like the biggest star, you know, for this month, and then his hit single just doesn't sell anymore, and then, you know, you're still Spikey D's barber, but, you know, like that kind of brings down your stock because as Spikey D goes down, you know, Spikey D might not make another record, you know what I'm saying? So that's, you know, after that, it's not like, you know, like, okay, so now you did his hair, so now you can do that, you know, like, it's just not that simple. It's really, people have the people that they have because they like those people usually, or they like their work, you know, and they keep them around as long as possible. And when those people can't be around or they don't want them around anymore, usually it's through referral how they pick up their next person. You know, it's not usually like, okay, I'm going to go to, you know, celebrity barber school and go pick up one of those celebrity barber training. Like, you know, it's usually a friend of a friend, you know, like, for example, I have a lot of guys under my team of guys that are now so-called, quote, you know, celebrity barbers that were just regular barbershop guys when I met them, and that's just because I I refer them to do jobs with different celebrities, and in most cases they like them because I only would refer someone who I think would be worthy of
Yeah.
doing the work, because it's really not just about doing hair. A lot of it is just about being able to fit into the environment.
Right. So this is what I want to say. Ask you, because my mind is just running. Like, for so long, everybody just not just knew you, but knew you as P. Diddy's barber. How did people just find that out? Like, were you seen in a video or some print work or magazines? I mean, everybody at the show's like, that's P. Diddy's barber. That's P. Diddy's barber. But you have so many other celebrities that you've done as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, it's all about currency. Everybody knows me as P. Diddy's barber. Now everybody's starting to call me Usher's barber. So I'm starting to shift over now.
Right, because you were the mohawk that you did on Usher became like phenomenal, and everybody was like, Curtis Smith did that mohawk on Usher, and and then like you said, now people are saying that's Usher's barber as well.
Yeah. So it's just really about the affiliation and who they see you with. I mean, I used to do a lot of TV stuff with Puff back in the days. He did like Making a Band and little shows like that. He would put me on, let me get a little scene here and there or whatever. It was cool. And that's how people started like recognizing who I was. And then they had like a show talking about his life, and they were showing me actually drawing out some haircuts for him before he got his cut.
Oh wow! Now let's talk about that. You actually draw these cuts out and show them, present them to them before you actually do it?
Well, not necessarily. Not necessarily. That was something I just pretty much just did for him.
Mm-hmm.
And the only reason why I did that for him is because we were just trying to sit around and just trying to think for days, like, he had this new album coming out, and we were just sitting around, like, just be sitting at the house, just trying to just figure it out, like, what are we going to do different? Like, what are we going to do that's, like, nobody's doing that's still cool? You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's like, this is way before the Mohawk. This was before all of that, and it was just like, new video, new album, we got to think. So it was like, why don't you just go and just put some sketches together I can look at, So that's how that all started. And then I just put some sketches together for him to look at. And, it was like, this is what you would look like with boom, 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 boom. And I drew that out for him. And, he was like, he picked the one he liked and we went with it. So that's pretty much, how that all started.
Wow.
It's not what we do every time he gets a haircut, but every now and then he might ask for it.
How often do you cut his hair now? Like, is it real regular or just special events and he uses someone else in between, or you're the primary person?
No. I would say that I'm his lifetime barber. Meaning, like, I'll always be his barber. Like, that'll never change. I don't ever think. But, because I've been so busy with Usher and because he's been so quiet lately, he hasn't really been doing a lot of stuff. Like, he's been just staying behind the scenes and being a business and a family man. So, you haven't seen him everywhere because he's just been trying to,
Right.
So he's been trying to enjoy the view a little bit more.
I noticed. I saw him in Sandra Pay with his girls out on the boat and with his kids and things like that. So, yeah, he posts a lot of pictures of he and his kids now. Now, I know, like, you've done Maxwell, Derek Luke. Can you name a couple other people that you've done? Or you celebrities that you've worked with?
Will Smith, Terrence Howard, Dwayne Wade, Dwight Howard, Doug Fisher. A lot of people, man. Aaron Houston, Allen Iverson. Whenever somebody asks me something like that, because there's so many people. Like the Jackson 5. Remember when they had that show? I was the barber on that show.
Oh, wow. That reality show they had?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Everybody but Jermaine. Who else? There's so many, man. Ice Cube. Shoot.
Okay, let me ask you this. Did you advise Jermaine about the darkness on his hair? You didn't do that? I mean, did you tell him about that or mention that?
No, that's none of my business. I'm not his barber.
Oh, you're not his barber. Okay. I was just wondering, was that you?
No, that was I like I said, everybody except Jermaine. You must have missed that part.
Oh, you say. Okay, got it. Okay, now Curtis, how long have you been a barber?
Oh man, 25. Let me see. Wow, it's been a long time. It's
Wow.
been 20
Okay, over
years,
20 years though.
26 years.
Wow. Okay. Now I know you have a product line. If you're just joining me, you're listening to the Toni Love Show. My guest today is celebrity barber Curtis Smith of New York. And Curtis is sharing some information with us today about his celebrity clientele along with his business. And Curtis, I know that you have a product line. So let's talk to the audience listening about the products. What's the name of it? How does it work? And how did you come up with a product line?
Okay. So the name of the product is Exotics. Xotics. Exotics product. I came up with the line because I've always been type of forward thinker. So I always said to myself, I'm really good at what I do as a barber. Everyone else is telling me that, so it must be true. And, I really love products. I really love, knowing, I came up in an era where barbers knew how to use hair products. Nowadays, all they can know about is gel. That's it, pretty much. Like, barbers really don't understand how products work. Back in the day, we used to have to do all kind of extras and all kinds of stuff. Color, everything, lifting colors and then, all of that. So, coming up in where I came up, that was just a thing in the 80s. So we were doing the flat tops and all that stuff, J curls, and that was just played out, so that's when the barber started learning how to do that stuff. Nobody wanted to wear no J curls. And, the whole transition. So that's when I came up. So I was always in love with products and what they do and how they smell and how they work and how they feel and touch them and so forth. So I went to the hair show and I noticed that there was a guy at the hair show who had products, and he was like, not much older than me. So I checked out his products. I took it back to my shop and I tried them. And I said, he's really good. I love him. Okay. The only thing is, a couple of my weave clients, because I did ladies also. So a couple of my weave clients would come back and it smelled really good, but after a couple of days, my head started smelling. So I started, noticing that. And I said, I want to try to see if I can make a product like this that doesn't smell. So I said, maybe if I use a natural fragrance, yada. So anyway, I did it. And it worked. But then I noticed that it was helping people's hair to grow back. So then that's when I really started, getting into that part. That's how Sweet Jamila came about. That's my first product.
Okay, so you actually had male and female clients.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. So I didn't know that. I thought you just specialized in all male clients.
No, I have female clients. But my only thing was I only did females that I knew. I wouldn't take walk-ins and stuff like that. I would only do people that were recommended to me. I wouldn't do anyone outside of my clientele.
Okay. So the name of the product, again, is Exotics.
Yeah.
Okay, and can you spell that for the audience?
It's Xotics. Exotics by Curtis Smith.
Exotics by Curtis Smith. And where can these products be found?
Exoticsproducts.com.
Exoticsproducts.com. So if you're listening and you want to try these products, be sure to go to exoticsproducts.com. And it's Exotics by Curtis Smith, and that's Xotics. Now, Curtis, for people that want to work with celebrities and working on the video sets and movie sets and things of that nature, what should they know? Because I know, you contacted me about some work here locally in Atlanta, and I sent a young lady, and she was just amazed, and she was saying how much of a learning experience it was. So what would you say to people that they should and shouldn't do at a movie set or video set?
Be friendly, but don't talk too much. Matter of fact, don't talk a lot at all. Just kind of just do your job and shut up kind of thing. That's the first thing. Second thing is, get to know the people on the set, who they are, remember their names. So this way, for future, they'll remember who you are because you told them your name. It's really about just being cordial and being able to fit into the environment, because that's what's most important. And then on top of that, make sure your work is excellent, because you're doing HD cameras and you're doing stuff like that. So your work better speak for itself. So understand what it is you're supposed to do, and don't try to do what you want to do.
Mm-hmm. Because the person that has the vision for the video or the movie have a certain look in mind. So you can't go in there doing your own thing, right?
I've done a photo shoot where I decided that the model would look better with his beard cut off.
Oh, Curtis. And what happened?
And then when the person whose photo shoot it was came, that owned the company came and said, because they paid a lot of money to get me out there in California. So when they came and they seen and they said, look, why did you take beard off? I said, look, you came me out here because you respect my vision. He said, yeah, but I didn't want his beard cut off. That was my vision. I said, well, no one gave me any information about not wanting the beard cut off. You threw him in the trailer and say, do what you do. So, it was my fault, actually, for cutting his beard off without really getting confirmation on it. And this was a famous actor, but the actor was like, look, I'm tired of this beard. Everybody like me with this beard on. Cut it off. You know what I mean? So I said, okay, cut it off. Now, what I should have done which was comfortable, I got too comfortable. What I should have done was went to the person who hired me and said, hey, what am I doing with this beard? That would have been the proper thing. But I just decided to listen to the model.
And you know what? And I can respect you and respect what you're saying, because it's so good for people to hear that, yeah, one, you're a celebrity barber. You work with a lot of celebrities. But yet, after 20 years, you can look back and see what you did wrong or what you could have done better, and respect and authority. And I think a lot of people think, I got an ego because I'm doing this, or they flew me here. I can do what I want to do. And for you to be able to look back at that experience and say, hey, this is what I should have done. I think someone listening today will take a lot from that.
Yeah, and what I had to do to fix it was that the person who's good thing for me is that I learned a few tricks along the way. So the person who shot in the video, in the photo shoot, because it was for a clothing ad. So the person who shot in the video, in the photo shoot, they had to go out the next day to fly out to do another event. So I had to pretty much talk him into coming back the next day for free to come back and shoot with him the next day. Which he, because I was and I just met him that day, but because we got along so well, and because, he felt my vibe and understood, that, I was a good guy and everything, he agreed to come back. So when I went and told the owner, hey, listen, I got him to come back tomorrow. And he looked at me like, you know how much he costs a day? I said, look, I got that covered.
Wow, so you paid for him to come the next day.
Yeah, and then he came the next day, and I just wanted him to come back when he had a little stubble, because he did his hair really quick. So I just let him come the next day, and I did some camouflage tricks to make his beard look like it was actually there. And when he came out the trailer and they saw him, they said, oh my God, he got a beard. Didn't you shave your beard?
Right, like you shaved a beard yesterday and created a beard the next day. So you really have to be able to think on your feet.
Yeah, and the next day he came, he shot, we hugged and he left, and that was that. And everybody was happy,
Yeah. Now, how do you book your jobs? Do you have an agent or manager, or you just do it yourself?
Well, I do it myself, and the only reason why is because I think that the more stuff that you know how to do yourself, the better. Mm-hmm. But you also mess up your own career trying to do everything yourself too. It's a double-edged sword. I think that at some point you have to be able to take off the training wheels. I think that if you have an agent, that you still have your training wheels on.
Yeah.
Or if you're so successful, like if you're a makeup artist that's really successful, or somebody like that that's really like everybody wants, then it might be better to have an agent, because it'll be easier to manage your money and so forth. But I'm a person that don't work with a whole bunch of different entities. I work with mostly the same people. Mm-hmm. So we already have a rapport. So I don't need an agent for that.
Right. Right.
If someone who's trying to come up in the industry, they might want to get an agent. But, the only thing is, in this world, finding a good agent is like, you know, finding a good agent is like really hard. You know what I mean? Like everybody gives you the impression that they're a really good agency, but a lot of times when you get involved with agents, you ain't getting jerked around. But it still helps your career because they might introduce you to new clients.
Right. Right. Now, how did you and P. Diddy even meet? Like, was he one of your clients before you started? Like when you were in a barbershop, did he just walk in one day and get his hair cut? Or did somebody introduce you to him? How did that relationship even start?
It started in a barbershop. His cousin came and get a haircut. I cut his cousin's hair. His cousin loved the haircut. One day he was asking me, Diddy was asking, who's this Cuddy Smith guy in the office? And his cousin happened to walk by and heard him and he said it. So it was just like fate. And then he walked by and said, yo, Cuddy Smith, I know that guy, man. He cut my hair yesterday. Yo, look at my cut. He's like, it was the best cut I've ever had in my life. So that Diddy called, and then it started from there.
Was he already P. Diddy or Puff Daddy at that time, or he was the intern working to become?
No. When I cut him, he was filthy rich.
Oh, okay. So he was already Puff Daddy at that time.
He was already super large. He was already when I cut him, he came out with his first solo album.
Oh, wow.
Right after Missing You.
Oh, wow.
That's when I started cutting him. I started cutting him in 1998.
Oh, wow. So how do you, and this is, I know you're busy, so I'm going to let you go because I can ask you 1,000 questions. How do you keep it separated? Like, how do you not let your ego get in the way? And, because even meeting you myself and at the show and, and over the time, you're just so humble and and approachable and you willing to share information. I see you at the shows talking to younger barbers and giving them information, and you're approachable. People can just come up and talk to you. And a lot of people have been surprised by that. I know some people from Alabama that met you at the show told me, like, he was so cool. I could just go up and talk to him. And I think a lot of people think it's going to be that pretense or, I'm so famous, I can't deal with you right now. But you kind of get out there with the people. How do you keep it humble and still hang out with these celebrities and do your thing?
I mean, it's all the same. Everybody just, people trying to figure it out. They're the same as us. They ain't no different. They got the same problems we got. They just happen to be famous. Every time somebody goes in the studio and makes a new album, it's just the same as like if you go to a new job and you don't know if you're going to work out or not. Like, you don't know if you fit in over there. Like you might be too good and they get rid of you because you're taking that other girl's work. It's like any other job, like except for their famous. Like and think about how much pressure is on each one of them because they got 30, 40 people working for them. And these people looking at them every day like, if you don't make it, we don't make it.
Yeah, that's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, even down to me. I'm the barber, but even if my artists don't do well, then I don't do well. You know what I'm saying? Because that's just the nature of the business.
Right.
I'm not from artist to artist. I just work with people who hire me, and then I have my main people. But, at the end of the day, it's all the same. I mean, today they got a jet, tomorrow they don't have a jet. So the album didn't do good. You know what I mean?
Right. And I think the other interesting thing about you is you don't just do celebrity people. You said, I still got common people out here who just happen to be able to afford $100 or more for a haircut. So you don't just say, oh, I got celebrity clientele, I don't need regular people. You still service regular people or, everyday working people that are not famous. I don't want to say regular people.
I'm going to take it another level on you. I still go to the barbershop in the Bronx every Friday, and I still do haircuts for $20.
Wow.
And honestly, by the time I pay gas and pay rent for the booth and everything like that, it's almost not worth it. But, I get to see my friends.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah. So, that's my way of getting to hang out with my boys. Because, like, all the people I cut, I've been cutting them for so long, they, just became family. So, if you don't get to think about it. If you don't go to the barbershop, in most cases, you don't get to see a lot of people,
Right. Right. And I can attest too, even when I go home, it's like you say, you still go back to the Bronx and you get to hang out with your friends. It's just something about going home and being around those people.
Yeah, I mean, so that's like, those are the people you can really talk to. You can't really be into this. You can't get caught up in this whole world of, I mean, don't get me wrong, like, my clients are cool, but, at the end of the day, we didn't meet being friends. We met being business people.
Right.
So, as long as first, then, I have to keep my certain level of professionality, and I can't, I can't speak to them the way I speak to my friends.
Right, exactly. Well, one last question I have. If someone listening to this interview wants to book you to come to a school or come to a hair show or come to an event, how can they get you? How can they book you? Can you give us some contact information?
Okay, they can call 252. Matter of fact, tell them to send me an email. Okay, email me at Hair Battle Tour. That's HAIR Battle Tour by Exotics. That's with no E. XOTICS at gmail.com. Hair Battle Tour by Exotics at gmail.com.
Okay, so the best way for them to contact you to book you is hairbattletour.exotics, XOTICS, at gmail.com.
Yeah, that's by Exotics, not dot Exotics.
Oh, by Exotics, Hair Battle Tour by Exotics at gmail.com. Okay, wonderful. Okay, Curtis. Well, thank you so much for taking time today. You've given us a wealth of information, and call me anytime you need me. I'm here, and I'm sure the listeners are going to enjoy or have enjoyed listening to you today. And thanks again for your time.
You're very welcome, and I'll see you soon.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
All right, if you were tuning in, you were listening to the Toni Love Show. My guest was Mr. Curtis Smith, celebrity barber to so many celebrities: Maxwell, Derek Luke, Usher, P. Diddy, Allen Iverson, the list, Will Smith, and the list goes on and on and on. And Curtis gave us a wealth of information about being a celebrity barber, working with celebrity clientele, keeping your own friends in your neighborhood and going back to the barbershop where it all began or before he became the celebrity barber. And it was just such a good interview. And if you want to book Curtis for speaking engagements, or just maybe you want to email him and just have some questions for him, or let him know that you heard the interview on the Toni Love Show, and give him some feedback and let him know that you enjoyed it, and maybe it was something he said that touched you, and you want to just let him know you appreciate it. His email address is hairbattletour by Exotic, XOTICS, at gmail.com. Hairbattletour by Exotics at gmail.com. And if you want to find his products, the name of the products is Exotics, XOTICS by Curtis Smith. Exotics by Curtis Smith. Thank you for joining me, and thank you for listening. If you want more information, visit our website, www.tonilove.com. That's TONILOVE.com, ToniLove.com. And also be sure to join our group, the Toni Love Group. The membership is awesome. We have members that get information, inside information about what's going on in the industry. We have articles, job postings, and so much more. So be sure to join the Toni Love Group by visiting the ToniLoveGroup.com.